Let's begin with the first and perhaps the most universal secret on this list. It is something so fundamental to the male experience that most men don't even know how to articulate it, yet it weighs on them every single day. It is the exhaustion of being a hunter. In almost every romantic narrative, history book, and movie we have ever seen, the script is the same. The man pursues and the woman chooses. He is expected to be the initiator, the one who risks rejection, the one who sets the tone, and the one who creates the spark. And while there is a primal satisfaction in that role, there is also a deep, silent fatigue. Think about the last time you were intimate. Who started it? Who made the first move? Who leaned in first? If the answer is him 90% of the time, then you are unknowingly contributing to a dynamic where he feels like he is working for your affection. Here is the secret truth. Men are terrified that you are only saying yes because you are being polite, when he is always the one initiating. He starts to question his own desirability. He wonders, does she actually want me? Or is she just accommodating me because she loves me? That doubt is a passion killer. It makes him hesitant. It makes him second guess his touch. He desperately craves to be the prey. He wants to feel the unique, intoxicating rush of being hunted by the woman he loves. He wants to know that your desire is active, not passive. He wants to see that your hunger for him is so strong that you cannot wait for him to make the first move. When you flip this dynamic, you aren't just starting sex. You are relieving him of a lifelong psychological burden. You are telling him without words that he is wanted for who he is, not just for the effort he puts in. Aggressive switch. So what does this look like in practice? When we talk about hunting him or being aggressive, we aren't talking about doing something that feels unnatural or overly performative. You don't need to put on a costume or act like someone you aren't. This is about a shift in energy. It is about the aggressive switch. Imagine the scenario. He walks through the door after a long day. Usually there is a routine, dinner, TV, maybe a conversation, and then a slow drift toward the bedroom if the timing feels right. But tonight you break the pattern. Tonight you don't wait. The moment he walks in, or perhaps while he is standing in the kitchen, you walk up to him with intent. You don't ask, "How was your day?" Not yet. Instead, you press your body firmly against his. You look him dead in the eye and you kiss him, not a peck, but a deep, lingering kiss that says, "I need you right now." Maybe you take his hand and wordlessly lead him to the bedroom. Maybe you gently push him backward onto the sofa or the bed. This specific physical action, pushing him down, is one of the most powerful triggers for the male brain. Why? Because physically, he is usually the one top, the one holding the weight, the one in charge of the structure. When you push him down, you are physically signaling, "I am taking the lead. You can let go." This, Naughty, desire isn't about him wanting to be dominated in a complex way. It's about the thrill of your loss of control. He wants to feel like your desire for him is so overwhelming that you have become aggressive about it. He wants to feel like he is an object of your lust, something you simply have to have. Seeing you take what you want rather than waiting to be given it is an image that will stay in his mind for weeks. It turns the good girl narrative on its head in the best possible way. The psychological payoff now, let's look at why this works so effectively on a psychological level. Why does simply initiating or being a little aggressive change the entire chemistry of the bedroom? It comes down to the concept of the green light. For most men, intimacy is a navigation of boundaries. He is constantly reading you, checking your reactions, and making sure you are comfortable. He is analyzing, is she enjoying this? Am I moving too fast? Is she tired? This mental processing takes up a huge amount of bandwidth. It means a part of his brain is always acting as a monitor rather than simply experiencing the pleasure. When you initiate, when you push him onto the bed, or when you start undressing him with urgency, you are giving him a massive flashing green light. You have effectively signed a permission slip that says, "I am fully here. I am fully wanting this, and you don't need to worry about convincing me." The moment he realizes this, his anxiety vanishes. The monitor in his brain shuts off, and what takes its place? Pure, unadulterated passion. You will notice that when you initiate, he performs better. He is more present, more intense, and more connected to you. This is because he feels safe. He knows he hasn't coerced you or bored you. This is the hidden payoff of the naughty act of initiation. It isn't just about getting things started. It is about validating his ego in the deepest way possible. You are feeding his need to be desired, and in return, he gives you the best version of himself. He feels powerful because you made him feel irresistible. It creates a feedback loop of confidence that transforms a routine night into a memorable event, all because you decided to be the hunter for just one evening. Visual vulnerability, the darkness safety net. Now that we have established the power of initiation, we must move to an even more sensitive territory. This is where the gap between male and female psychology is often the widest and where the most misunderstandings happen. We need to talk about the lights. For many women, the darkness is a safety net. It is a blanket of protection. In the dark, you can let go of your inhibitions because you don't have to worry about how your body looks at certain angles. You don't have to worry about the cellulite, the stretch marks, or the way your stomach folds when you sit in a certain position. The darkness allows you to focus on the feeling about the judgment of the mirror that feels safe. But here is the hard truth that your man is terrified to tell you. To him, the darkness feels like a barrier, while you are hiding your flaws to feel more comfortable. He feels like you are hiding yourself from him. Men are biologically and evolutionarily visual creatures. This is not a cliché, it is brain chemistry. His arousal is triggered by what he sees just as much as what he feels. When you insist on pitch blackness, you are effectively blindfolding him. You are cutting off one of his primary senses for connection. He might never say it because he doesn't want to make you feel self-conscious, but he misses seeing you. He misses the visual confirmation that he is with the woman he desires. He wants the naughty thrill of seeing you exposed, not because he wants to critique your body, but because your willingness to be seen signals trust. When you hide, he senses your insecurity, and that insecurity can dampen the passion. But when you allow yourself to be seen, even imperfectly, it signals a raw, open vulnerability that drives him wild. The show he craves. Let's dig deeper into this visual hunger. What exactly is he looking for? Many women assume that if the lights are on, he is going to start analyzing their body parts like a plastic surgeon. You might think, if he sees me in this bright light, he's going to notice that I haven't gone to the gym in a month. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of the male sexual brain. When a man is in a state of high arousal, he loses the ability to critique. He is not looking at your imperfections. He is looking for access. He is looking for the show of your pleasure. What he really wants to see is the flush on your chest when you are excited. He wants to see the expression on your face change when he touches you in a certain way. He wants to see the curve of your hip and the way your body moves in rhythm with his. These visual cues serve as a feedback loop. When he sees your pleasure, it spikes his own dopamine levels. It confirms to him visually that he is doing a good job. Think about the concept of naughty in this context. The reason men consume adult content is often just to see the visual of the act. But the porn he really wants is the reality of you. He wants the exclusive, VIP view of his partner in her most vulnerable state. When you deny him the visual, you are denying him the full experience of his own impact on you. He wants to witness you unraveling. He wants to see your eyes roll back or your hands gripping the sheets. That visual data is more arousing to him than any perfect body could ever be. He craves the messy, real, unfiltered side of you losing control. That is the show he is too afraid to ask for because he knows you are shy, but it is the one thing that would make him feel most connected to you. The mirror technique, if you are ready to give him this naughty gift, you don't have to start with stadium floodlights. You can start with the psychology of the mirror technique. This is a specific fantasy for many men that combines visual vulnerability with a sense of erotic voyeurism. The desire is simple. He wants to watch you, watching him, watching you. If you have a mirror in your bedroom or can position one there, try leaving the lights low, warm. Amber lighting is best as it is flattering and relaxing, and position yourselves so you can see the reflection. This is incredibly powerful for two reasons. First, it forces you to confront your own image while you are being intimate. It forces you to see yourself as a sexual being, which is a massive confidence booster once you get past the initial shyness. Second, it allows him to see angles of you he usually misses. But the real trick here is what it signals to his subconscious. When a woman is brave enough to make love in front of a mirror or with the lights on, she is projecting high status sexual confidence. She is saying, I am not afraid of my body and I am not afraid of you seeing it. That confidence is magnetic. Even if you are faking it at first, the act of stepping into the light changes the energy in the room. You stop being the person who needs to be protected by the dark, and you become the muse who is willing to be worshipped in the light. It transforms the bedroom from a hiding place into a stage where your connection is the star. This visual openness is the naughty secret that makes him feel like he has truly unlocked every part of you. The sound of validation, the silent room problem. We have spoken about the eyes, but now we must speak about the ears. If darkness is a safety net for many women, silence is often a default setting. And unfortunately, silence is one of the biggest sources of insecurity for the male mind. Imagine you are giving a speech to a room full of people. You are speaking passionately, pouring your heart out, but the audience is sitting there stone-faced. They are completely silent. No nodding, no applause, no murmurs of agreement. How would you feel? You would panic. You would think, I'm failing. They hate this. I should stop. This is exactly what happens in a man's brain when the bedroom is silent. Men are logical, goal-oriented creatures. Even in intimacy, they look for data. They need feedback to know if they are succeeding. When you are quiet, his brain fills the silence with doubt. He starts thinking, is she bored? Is she thinking about her to-do list? Am I doing this wrong? Is she just waiting for me to finish? The naughty thing he wants isn't necessarily dirty words. It is simply the absence of silence. He is terrified to ask you to make more noise because it sounds demanding or critical. It sounds like he is asking you to fake it. But the truth is, he is starving for auditory proof that he is affecting you. Silence creates distance. Sound bridges the gap. The moment you break the silence, you break his insecurity. The specifics of sound, so what kind of sound does he actually want? This is where many women get tripped up. They think that to be naughty, they have to sound like an adult film star. They think they need to scream or moan loudly in a way that feels exaggerated and fake. Let me be clear, he does not want a performance. Men are surprisingly good at detecting fake enthusiasm, and nothing kills the mood faster than a sound that feels scripted. What he craves are the involuntary sounds of pleasure. He wants the low guttural moan that escapes your throat when he touches a sensitive spot. He wants the sharp intake of breath, that sudden gasp when he does something unexpected. He wants the heavy breathing that matches his own rhythm. These sounds are powerful because they are primal. They bypass the language center of the brain and go straight to the instinctual part. A gasp tells him, you surprised me. A deep moan tells him, this feels right. There is also a specific naughty trigger that works on almost every man hearing his own name. In the heat of the moment, whispering his name is an incredibly powerful anchor. It pulls him out of any fantasy or distraction and grounds him right there with you. It tells him, I am not just enjoying the sensation, I am enjoying you. It personalizes the pleasure. If you don't know what to say, don't say anything complex. Just focus on releasing the breath you are holding. Most women hold their breath when they concentrate or feel nervous. Let that air out with a sound, hum your approval. The goal is to create a soundtrack of validation. When he hears you, his confidence skyrockets. He stops thinking about what to do next and starts feeling the rhythm of the moment. Narrating the pleasure, if you are ready to graduate from sounds to words, we enter the realm of narrating the pleasure. This is a step that many men dream of but rarely experience. He wants to know what is happening to you while it is happening. He wants a live report from inside your experience. This doesn't mean you need to talk dirty. We will get to that in a later chapter. This means simply verbalizing the positive sensations. Phrases like, that feels so good, or don't stop doing that, or I love the way your hands feel on me, are music to his ears. Why is this so effective? Because it turns the act into a two-way conversation. It removes the guesswork. When you tell him right there, you are giving him the map to your body. You are taking the burden of guessing off his shoulders. But there is a deeper layer here. When you verbalize your pleasure, you are being vulnerable. You are admitting that he has power over your senses. You are admitting that you are lost in the feeling. That admission is incredibly seductive. It makes him feel competent and masculine. He is terrified to ask, do you like this? Because he fears the answer might be no. So when you volunteer the information, when you tell him yes without being asked, you are giving him the ultimate gift of reassurance. You are transforming the silent, uncertain dark into a vibrant, communicative space where he knows without a shadow of a doubt that he is rocking your world. Controlled power, roughness, and primal energy. The nice guy cage, we are now entering one of the most misunderstood and heavily guarded areas of the male psyche. It is the desire for controlled power, or to put it more bluntly, the desire to be rough. This is a complicated topic because we live in a society that has, for very good reasons, taught men to be gentle. From the time they are little boys, they are taught to be careful. Don't hit, be nice. Ladies are fragile, be a gentleman. This conditioning creates what we call the nice guy cage. Most good men, the men who love you, respect you, and would never dream of hurting you, are terrified of their own physical strength. They treat intimacy like they are handling fine china. They move carefully. They touch softly. They are constantly checking their own power to make sure they don't accidentally cross a line into disrespect or aggression. But here is the secret inside that civilized, respectful man is a dormant primal energy that is desperate to be released. He separates making love, which is gentle, from fucking, which is raw. And while he loves tenderness, he secretly craves the moments where he is allowed to stop being a gentleman and start being a man. He is terrified to ask for this. He fears that if he grips you a little too hard, or pins your wrist down, or changes the pace to something more aggressive, you will think he is angry. He worries you will view him as a predator rather than a protector. So he keeps the beast in the cage. He suppresses the urge to dominate the moment because he values your safety above his own satisfaction. But deep down, he wants to know if you would welcome the storm, the signal for release. So if he is too afraid to initiate this primal energy, how do you unlock it? You cannot simply say, be rough with me, because that can feel vague or intimidating. Instead, you must give him the signal for release. You have to show him physically that you are not breakable. You have to demonstrate that you can handle and that you want his intensity. The most effective way to do this is to mirror the energy you want to receive. If he is kissing you softly, grab the back of his hair and pull him in harder. Dig your nails lightly into his shoulders or his back. This is a universal biological signal. When a woman uses her nails not to injure, but to mark, it triggers a switch in the male brain that says she's in a primal state. Another powerful signal is resistance. This sounds counterintuitive, but playfulness involves a little struggle. If he is on top of you, try to push him off or wrestle him. Engage your muscles against his. When he feels your physical strength pushing back, it gives him permission to use his strength to overcome it. It turns the intimacy into a playful contest of power. You can also use your voice. A whispered command like harder or don't hold back creates an immediate permission structure. What you are doing here is handing him a key. You are telling him, I trust you enough to lose control with you. You are signaling that the nice guy can take a break for 10 minutes and the raw, hungry lover can take his place. The moment he feels that you are not fragile, that you are a match for his energy, he will unleash a level of passion that has likely been bottled up for years. He will stop holding back and you will feel the difference in every touch. The safety of the container, it is important to address why this desire for roughness exists and why it is actually a sign of a healthy, passionate connection rather than something dark or scary. When we talk about roughness or primal energy, we are not talking about violence. Violence is about causing pain and instilling fear. Primal passion is about consumption. The psychology behind his desire to be rough is the desire to consume you completely. It is an overwhelming urgency. It is the feeling of wanting you so much that gentle isn't enough to express it. He wants to feel the resistance of your skin. He wants to feel the weight of your body. He wants to feel like he is devouring the moment. Think of it like hunger. When you are a little bit hungry, you eat politely with a knife and fork. But when you are starving, when you haven't eaten in days, you tear into the food. You eat with your hands. You don't care about manners. That is what he wants to feel for you. He wants to feel starved for you. For the woman, this creates what psychologists call a safe container. It allows you to experience the thrill of being taken or overpowered while knowing with 100% certainty that you are safe. That specific combination, high intensity plus high safety, is one of the most potent triggers for female arousal as well. When you allow him to express this side of himself, you are giving him the ultimate compliment. You are saying, I accept all of you. Not just the polite, civilized version that goes to work and pays the bills, but the animal inside who wants me desperately. This acceptance heals the split in his mind. It tells him he doesn't have to choose between being a good man and a passionate lover. He can be both. And when he realizes that you love his strength just as much as you love his gentleness, he will bond to you in a way that is unbreakable. The fantasy of surrender, him submitting the weight of the world, we just discussed the male desire to be the hunter and the aggressor. But human sexuality is rarely a straight line. It is a spectrum of contradictions, and right alongside his desire to dominate lies an equally powerful secret desire to surrender. To understand this, you have to look at the life of the average modern man. From the moment he wakes up, the world expects him to be in charge. He is expected to lead in his career, to make the hard decisions for the family, to be the stoic protector, and to carry the financial and emotional weight of the household on his shoulders. He is constantly driving the car of his life, hands tight on the wheel, watching for danger, mapping the route. This state of constant vigilance is exhausting. It leads to what psychologists call decision fatigue. This is why one of the most common yet unspoken fantasies men have is to simply let go. He wants, for just 20 minutes, to hand the steering wheel to you. He wants to be absolved of the responsibility of leading. He wants to enter a space where he doesn't have to think, plan, or initiate. He craves the relief of being passive. He is terrified to ask for this because society tells him that a real man is always dominant. He fears that if he asks you to take total control, you will see him as weak or lazy. He worries that you will lose respect for his masculinity if he lays back and lets you do the work. But the truth is the exact opposite. His masculinity isn't fragile. It is just tired. By taking the reins, you aren't emasculating him. You are giving him a vacation from the burden of being the king. You are allowing him to just be a man, experiencing pleasure without the pressure of performance. The use me dynamic, how do you translate this psychological need for relief into a physical reality? You create what we call the use me dynamic. This is the fantasy of objectification, but reversed. Usually we talk about women being objectified, but men secretly love the feeling of being the object of your pleasure. He wants to feel like a tool that you are using for your own satisfaction. The most practical way to enact this is through positioning. When you are on top, so straddling him, you are physically enforcing this dynamic. But don't just sit there. Take charge of the variables. Pin his wrists to the bed, not aggressively, but firmly. Or place your hands on his chest and push him down if he tries to sit up. Whisper a simple command, don't move. When you tell a powerful man, don't move, and he obeys you, it creates an electric charge in the room. You are effectively trapping him. You are setting the pace. You are deciding how fast, how deep, and how long he wants to look up at you and realize that he has no say in what happens next. He wants you to whooze him until you are satisfied. This is incredibly freeing for a man. It allows him to drop out of his head completely. He doesn't have to worry about, is she close? Or should I switch positions? Because you have taken that job away from him. There is also a profound visual component here. When you are above him, taking what you want, he gets to view you as a goddess figure. You appear larger than life. You are the conqueror. Seeing you in this state of power doesn't make him feel small. It makes him feel chosen. He feels honored that you would exert your energy to claim him. It is a naughty shift in power that refreshes the entire relationship dynamic, emotional vulnerability and submission. It is crucial to understand that when a man submits to you, he is doing something far deeper than just playing a game. He is engaging in an act of profound trust. Biologically, the submissive position, lying on one's back, exposing the throat and the chest, is a position of vulnerability. In the wild, an animal only exposes its belly to a creature it trusts implicitly not to kill it. When your man lays back and lets you pin him down, he is metaphorically exposing his belly. He is giving you access to his unguarded self. He is saying, I trust you with my body, my pleasure, and my ego. This is why this chapter is so important for emotional bonding. Dominance is about power, but submission is about trust. If he can let go of control with you, it means he feels safe with you. It means he knows you won't judge him, mock him, or hurt him. For many men who have trouble expressing emotions verbally, this act of surrender is their way of saying, I am yours. It creates a deep, unspoken intimacy that lasts long after the act is over. So if you sense your man is stressed, overworked, or carrying the weight of the world, don't ask him what you can do to help. Just push him onto the bed, climb on top, and whisper, I've got this. It is the most healing, naughty thing you can possibly do for him. You aren't just giving him sex, you are giving him the rarest gift a man can receive, the permission to stop fighting and just be. Dirty talks of instruction versus degradation, the misconception of dirty talk. If there is one phrase that makes women freeze up more than any other, it is dirty talk. For many of you, just hearing those words creates a feeling of cringe. You imagine something aggressive, vulgar, or completely unnatural. You picture a script from a bad adult movie full of insults or slang words that you would never use in your real life. You think, I can't do that. It's not me. I'm a lady, not an actress. This is the biggest misconception about verbal intimacy. The reason men crave dirty talk has nothing to do with dirt, and it rarely has anything to do with degradation. He isn't asking you to insult yourself, and he isn't asking for a performance. What he is actually terrified to ask for is explicitness. In our daily lives, we are vague, we speak in code. We say, I'm tired, or let's go upstairs. We use polite euphemisms. But the bedroom is the one place where he craves raw honesty. He wants to strip away the politeness. When a man wants you to talk to him, he wants to hear the truth of your desire in real time. He wants to know that the civilized version of you has left the building and the primal version of you is present. If you change the label in your mind from dirty talk to verbal honesty, the fear disappears. He doesn't want you to be vulgar. He wants you to be specific. He wants to hear that you want him, not in abstract poetry, but in concrete reality. The naughty thrill for him is hearing a woman who is usually composed and polite lose her filter. It signals to him that his presence is so intoxicating that you can no longer worry about being proper. I play. Desire, so if we aren't using slang or insults, what are we saying? The most effective form of verbal intimacy, and the one men secretly want most, is the play. By play, men are visual creatures, but their visualization happens internally as well as externally. Words paint pictures. When you describe what is happening or what is about to happen, you are effectively painting a vivid image in his mind that amplifies the physical sensation. He wants you to narrate the intent. It is as simple as whispering what you are going to do before you do it. I am going to kiss your neck now. I want to feel your skin against mine. I am going to take this off. Why is this so powerful? Because it builds anticipation. The brain processes the words before the body feels the touch. By stating your intent, you create a split second of suspense. He knows it is coming, and that knowledge makes the eventual touch 10 times more electric. He also craves the play by play of his own impact. This goes back to validation. He wants to hear exactly how he is making you feel. Your hands feel so hot. That movement drives me crazy. Notice that none of this is dirty in the traditional sense. It is descriptive. But to a man, this is incredibly erotic. It turns the act into a shared story. When you stay silent, he is experiencing physical friction. But when you speak, he is experiencing a psychological narrative. You are guiding his focus. You are telling his brain exactly what to pay attention to. This satisfies his need for instruction without him having to ask for it. He is terrified to say, "Tell me what you're doing," because it sounds needy. But when you volunteer that narration, you hook his mind completely. You keep him engaged, present, and focused entirely on you. Asking for what he wants, there is a final level to this verbal connection, and it is the key to unlocking his voice. Many women wish their men would be more vocal. You want him to tell you what he wants or to whisper those dark, romantic things to you, but he stays silent. Why? Because of the fear of judgment we discussed in the beginning. He is afraid that if he voices his specific naughty desires, you will look at him differently. The only way to break this seal is for you to lead. You have to ask the question. The most powerful sentence you can use is, "Tell me what you want to do to me." When you whisper this in his ear, you are handing him a permission slip. You are inviting him to open the vault of his imagination. You are saying, "I am safe. I am curious. I want to know." At first, he might hesitate. He might say, I don't know, or just kiss you to avoid answering. Be patient. Ask again. "No, tell me. I want to hear it." When he finally speaks, when he finally whispers that specific thing he has been thinking about, you must reward him. Moan. Kiss him harder. Tell him, "I love it when you say that." By doing this, you are conditioning him. You are teaching him that his words are welcome. You are showing him that his darker or naughtier thoughts don't scare you, they arouse you. Once he realizes this, the floodgates will open. He will start telling you things he has wanted for years. And you will realize that the man you thought was silent was actually just waiting for permission to speak. Spontaneous urgency, the right now factor, the schedule killer. We are now going to talk about the enemy of passion. It isn't aging and it isn't lacking time. The enemy is routine. In long-term relationships, intimacy tends to settle into a schedule. Maybe it's every Saturday morning or Tuesday nights after the show you watch. While there is comfort in consistency, there is zero thrill in predictability. The naughty thing that men are terrified to ask for is inconvenience. He secretly hates that he can predict exactly when intimacy will happen. He hates that he has to wait for the right time. When the chores are done, the dog is walked, and the house is quiet, it turns the most exciting act of your relationship into just another item on the to-do list. It feels administrative. He wants you to break the schedule. He craves the feeling of spontaneous urgency. He wants to be wanted at a bad time. He wants you to initiate something when the dishes are still in the sink or when you only have 10 minutes before you need to leave for a dinner reservation. Why? Because it signals that your desire for him is stronger than your desire for order. When you interrupt the routine to touch him, you are telling him, "I value this connection more than I value the schedule." That is a massive ego boost. It tells him that he is irresistible. He won't ask for this because he respects your time and your stress levels. But if you are the one to create the chaos, he will welcome it with open arms. The risk element, to take this concept of urgency a step further, we must look at the psychology of risk. Do you remember the beginning of your relationship? The honeymoon phase? Part of the reason that time felt so electric was because everything was new and you were constantly stealing moments. You were kissing in cars or sneaking into rooms at parties. There was a constant low-level adrenaline spike. Over time, we get comfortable. We move the intimacy strictly to the bedroom with the door locked and the blackout curtains drawn. It becomes safe, but safety puts the libido to sleep. Men secretly crave a little bit of danger. He wants the naughty thrill of almost getting caught. This doesn't mean you need to do anything illegal or actually public. It is about the illusion of risk. It's the quickie in the kitchen while the kids are upstairs watching a movie. It's pulling him into the hallway closet for a passionate make-out session while guests are in the living room. It's reaching under the table to touch his knee at a restaurant. Why does this work? Biologically, fear and arousal are very close cousins in the brain. They both increase heart rate, dilate pupils, and heighten sensitivity. When you introduce a risk element, like the possibility of someone walking in, or the need to be quiet so you aren't heard, you artificially spike his adrenaline. This adrenaline gets converted into sexual energy. It makes the moment feel sharper, faster, and more intense. He wants to feel like the two of you are partners in crime, sharing a dirty little secret that the rest of the world doesn't know about. He is terrified to suggest this because he doesn't want to make you uncomfortable. But if you pull him into a corner at a party, you will see a flash of excitement in his eyes that you haven't seen in years. Breaking the perfect conditions rule, finally, urgency requires us to destroy the perfect conditions rule. This is a barrier that women often put up without realizing it. You might think, I can't be intimate right now. I haven't showered, or I haven't shaved my legs, or the bed isn't made. You wait for the conditions to be perfect before you allow yourself to be sexual. Here is the secret. He doesn't care about the conditions. In fact, he prefers imperfection. When you demand that everything be perfect, you are sterilizing the moment. You are making it clinical. He doesn't want the version of you that is scrubbed, polished, and scented like lavender soap. He wants the raw version of you. He wants the naughty reality of your natural scent. He wants the messiness. He wants you when you are sweaty from a workout or when your hair is messy in the morning. When you initiate intimacy without prepping first, it feels guttural and real to him. It tells him, I want you so bad that I don't care about the details. If he tries to initiate and you say, hold on, let me go freshen up, you have just killed the momentum. You have told him that your insecurity is more important than his desire. Try just once to say yes to the moment exactly as you are. Messy hair, no makeup, yoga pants, unshaven legs. Let him have the right now version of you. He won't be judging your grooming habits. He will be lost in the fact that for the first time in forever, the passion didn't have to wait for permission. The art of teasing, the rush to the finish. We often think of male arousal as a straight line. It starts, it goes up, and it ends. And let's be honest, sometimes that line is very short. Men are biologically conditioned to seek release. It is a primal drive. But here is the paradox. While his body is racing toward the finish line, his mind is secretly wishing the race would last forever. He wants you to intervene. He wants you to be the one to hit the brakes. The naughty thing he is terrified to ask for is denial. He wants you to take control of his pleasure curve and forcefully slow it down. He wants to be brought to the very edge of the cliff and then pulled back over and over again. Why doesn't he just do this himself? Because he often lacks the willpower. Once the chemical cascade starts in his brain, he is on autopilot. He is focused on the goal. He needs an external force, you to step in and say, not yet. When you allow him to rush to the finish, the experience is over before it has time to become deeply emotional. It remains purely physical. But when you tease him, when you force him to wait, you are letting the sexual energy simmer. You are building pressure. He might groan in frustration. He might beg you not to stop, but do not listen to his words. Listen to the psychology. He loves that frustration. He loves the feeling of being so overwhelmed by you that he can barely hold it together. He wants a woman who has the confidence to deny him what he wants in the moment in order to give him something much more powerful in the end. The power of no. How do you master this art? You have to become comfortable with the power of the word no. Usually we think of no as a rejection, but in the bedroom, no is a spice. It is the ultimate tease. Here is the technique when you feel him getting close to the point of no return, or when his breathing changes and he becomes frantic. I want you to stop your hands completely. Pull your body away from his, create a physical gap between you. He will look at you with confusion and desperation. He might reach for you. Gently push his hands away, leaning close to his ear and whisper, "Not yet, you have to wait." Then change the activity. If you were touching him intimately, stop and just kiss his neck. If you were moving fast, stop and move excruciatingly slow. This is called edging, though you don't need to use the technical term. It is simply the art of managing his arousal. By pulling back, you are resetting his nervous system. You are taking him from a 9 out of 10 back down to a 6. Then you build him back up. Why is this so effective? Because scarcity creates value. When you pull the pleasure away, he instantly wants it more. It triggers a chase instinct within the act itself. He feels like he has to earn the release. And when you finally do let him finish, when you finally give him the green light, the physical release is exponentially more powerful. It isn't just a physical relief. It is a full body explosion that he has been waiting for. By denying him for 10 minutes, you turn the standard experience into a mind-altering one. He will remember that climax for weeks simply because you were mean enough to make him wait for it. Building sexual tension outside the bedroom, the art of teasing shouldn't be limited to the moments when the clothes are off. In fact, the most effective teasing happens when you can't do anything about it. He wants you to build tension when the context is completely inappropriate. He wants to know that you are thinking about him when he is at work or when you are out at dinner with friends. He wants the naughty secret of a digital tease. Send him a text in the middle of the day. Don't send a nude photo that leaves nothing to the imagination. Instead, send a text that plants a seed. "I can't stop thinking about what we did last night. I had a dream about you during my meeting, and now I can't focus. I have a surprise for you later." This is mental foreplay. He will be sitting at his desk, surrounded by spreadsheets or emails, but his mind will be completely hijacked by you. You have created an open loop in his brain that he can't close until he sees you. You can do this physically in public too. When you are at a restaurant, put your hand on his thigh under the table, squeeze firmly, then remove it. Don't look at him. Keep talking to your friends. That hidden touch creates an electric current. He is sitting there trying to maintain a conversation, but his entire body is reacting to your hand. He loves the torture of it. He loves the secret knowledge that while everyone else sees a polite couple having dinner under the table, you are claiming him. This kind of teasing tells him that your desire isn't just a bedroom activity. It is a constant undercurrent. It keeps him feeling hunted, wanted, and on edge in the best possible way. Enthusiastic participation, the anti-starfish, the fear of duty sex. We have reached a point in our journey where we must confront the single biggest fear in the male sexual mind. It isn't about size. It isn't about performance dysfunction. It isn't even about rejection. His biggest fear is that you are tolerating him. There is a concept men quietly dread, often referred to as the starfish. It describes a scenario where the woman lies back, passive and motionless, waiting for the act to be over. She isn't fighting it. She isn't in it. She is physically present but emotionally checked out. To a man, this is devastating. He might finish the act because biology takes over, but his soul feels rejected. He walks away feeling like he just used your body rather than connected with your spirit. He feels like a chore on your to-do list, right between load the dishwasher and fold the laundry. The naughty thing he wants, perhaps more than anything else on this list, is enthusiastic participation. He wants to know that you are not just letting him do this, but that you are actively consuming the experience with him. Men are terrified to ask for this because they know you are tired. They know you work hard. They know the kids are exhausting and they don't want to add pressure. So they accept the starfish silence because they don't want to lose the intimacy altogether. But deep down, duty sex makes him feel hollow. He would rather have no sex at all than sex that feels like an obligation. He wants to look at your face and see hunger, not patience. He wants to feel like you are just as lucky to be there as he is. Active vs passive. So how do we destroy the starfish dynamic? How do you show enthusiasm without feeling like you have to perform a gymnastics routine? Participation is not about flexibility or stamina. It is about active resistance. When you are passive, your body is limp. You are dead weight. When you are active, your muscles are engaged. He wants to feel you wrapped around him. If you are lying on your back, don't just leave your legs flat. Wrap them around his waist. Squeeze him. Pull him closer. If his hands are on you, don't just let them rest there. Press your body into his hand. Arch your back to meet his touch. This is the key difference. Don't just receive the touch, meet the touch. When he moves, match his rhythm. If he kisses you, kiss him back with the same pressure. If he grabs you, grab him back. Think about the anti-starfish mindset. A starfish floats, a predator moves. He wants you to move. Run your hands over his back, dig your fingers into his hair, scratch lightly at the base of his neck. These small, active movements send a massive signal to his brain. They tell him, I am awake, I am here, I am involved. He also loves the visual of your engagement. He wants to see you touching yourself while he touches you, or guiding his hand to exactly where you want it. That is the ultimate participation. It shows him that you are taking responsibility for your own pleasure rather than just waiting for him to deliver it to you. When you are active, you change the physics of the encounter. It stops being something he is doing to you and starts being something you are creating together. That shared energy is the fuel that keeps a man's desire burning for decades. The ego boost of desire. Let's look at the psychological payoff of enthusiasm. Why does this matter so much to him? It comes down to ego and validation. Men are conditioned to believe that their value lies in their utility, what they can build, provide, or fix. But in the bedroom, he doesn't want to be useful. He wants to be irresistible. When you participate enthusiastically, you are validating his attractiveness. You are telling him, you are so hot, you are so powerful, and you are so good at this that I cannot stay still. That is the ultimate compliment. You can tell a man, I love you 1,000 times, and he will believe you. But if you grab his shirt and pull him onto the bed with wild enthusiasm, he feels loved. This enthusiasm heals his insecurities. If he is worried about his age, his weight, or his stamina, your enthusiasm erases those worries. He thinks, if she wants me this bad, I must be doing everything right. It also encourages him to give more. When a man feels your enthusiasm, he becomes more generous. He wants to spend more time on foreplay. He wants to ensure you finish. Why? Because your pleasure has become the fuel for his ego. He wants to keep seeing that reaction. So the next time you are together, make a conscious decision to engage. Even if you are tired, find 5% more energy, squeeze him back, moan into his mouth, show him that he isn't alone in the experience. The moment he feels you fighting for the pleasure just as hard as he is, he will feel like the king of the world. Post-climax validation, the ego anchor, we have reached the final secret, and in many ways it is the most tender one. We have talked about the build-up, the act, and the climax. But what happens the second the movement stops? For many women, the moments after intimacy are a time of glow. You are bathed in oxytocin, the cuddle hormone. You feel warm, fuzzy, and connected. But for men, the biology is different, and it is something he will rarely explain to you. Immediately after a man finishes, he experiences a massive chemical crash. His testosterone drops and his body is flooded with prolactin. This is physically exhausting, but psychologically, it can feel like a drop. He goes from feeling like a conquering king to feeling suddenly exposed, tired, and incredibly vulnerable. This is the moment he is most sensitive to rejection. He is terrified that now that the fun is over, you will detach. He fears the transactional feeling, the idea that he served his purpose, and now you are done with him. If you immediately roll over, check your phone, or jump out of bed to shower, his brain interprets that as a dismissal. He thinks she didn't want me, she just wanted the release. Or worse, she thinks I was too gross and she needs to wash me off. The naughty thing he wants here isn't physical pleasure. He is temporarily done with that. What he wants is emotional anchoring. He wants you to stay in touch with him. He wants to know that you still like the person inside the body, even when the sexual energy has faded. He needs you to bridge the gap between the animal he just was and the partner he is now. The review he craves, so how do you anchor him? You give him the review. I know that sounds unromantic, like a performance evaluation, but the male ego runs on data. He just performed a physically demanding act with the goal of pleasing you. Now he is lying there in the quiet, and his brain is asking one loud question: did I do good? He will never ask you this directly. It sounds too insecure, but he is desperate for the answer. He wants you to validate his performance. This is the time to whisper the affirmation he needs. Wow, that was exactly what I needed. You completely wrecked me. When you say these things, you are cementing the memory in his mind. You are telling him you are competent, you are a good lover, you succeeded. Physical touch is just as important here. This is the cuddle phase, but it needs to be intentional. Rest your head on his chest, run your hand over his heart, entangle your legs with his. This contact is the ego anchor. It tells him that you are not rushing to escape his presence. There is a specific naughty power in looking him in the eye during this phase. He is tired, his defenses are down, and he is unguarded. If you look at him with adoration right now, it hits him harder than at any other time. He feels seen. If you skip this phase, if you leave him in the silence, he begins to doubt the entire experience. He wonders if you faked it. He wonders if he finished too soon. By providing the review, you eliminate all doubt. You turn the post-coital crash into a soft landing. You ensure that the last emotion he feels before he falls asleep is pride, not emptiness, connection through clean up. Finally, we must find romance in reality. We have to talk about the clean up. Movies always cut to black after the kiss. They never show the search for a towel, the glass of water, or the trip to the bathroom. But in real life, these moments happen, and they are actually opportunities for deep connection. He wants to share the mundane intimacy with you. He loves the moment where you are both laughing quietly because you can't find your underwear. He loves the moment where you share a glass of water in the dark because you are both thirsty. These small, messy moments are the naughty secret of long-term couples. They are intimate because they are exclusive. Nobody else gets to see you like this, disheveled, thirsty, wrapping a sheet around yourself. Don't rush to fix yourself. Don't rush to put your makeup back on or hide the evidence of what just happened. He wants to linger in the mess for a few minutes. If you need a towel, ask him for one. If he needs water, offer him a sip of yours. This shared recovery period is the bridge back to normal life. It says, we went somewhere wild together, and now we are coming back home together. If you treat the cleanup as a gross chore that needs to be done instantly, you kill the mood. But if you treat it as a gentle, humorous, intimate ritual, you bond him to you. You are showing him that you are comfortable with the biology of sex. You are comfortable with his fluids and your own. That level of acceptance is the highest form of intimacy. It tells him that there is no part of him, clean or dirty, high energy or low energy, that you do not love. We have traveled a long way together in this video. We have peeled back the layers of the male psyche, moving from the hunger of the hunt to the vulnerability of the aftermath. I know that 10 secrets can feel like a lot to take in. You might be sitting there thinking, do I have to do all of this to keep him interested? The answer is no. The purpose of this list isn't to give you a checklist of chores. It is to give you a ring of keys. You don't need to use every key every single night. You just need to know which doors are locked. If you look closely at everything we discussed, the roughness, the dirty talk, the lights being on, you will notice one common thread. It isn't about acrobatics or looking like a model. It is about permission. He is waiting for permission to let go. He is waiting for permission to be primal, to be loud, to be weak, and to be messy. He has spent his whole life being told to be a gentleman, and he is terrified that if he shows you his raw desire, you will reject him. By using these techniques, you are simply telling him, it is safe to be yourself with me. That is the most naughty and beautiful thing you can offer him. So here is my challenge to you. I don't want you to try and change your entire bedroom dynamic overnight. That is too much pressure, and pressure kills passion. I want you to pick just one thing from this video. Maybe tonight you decide to leave the lamp on. Maybe tomorrow you decide to be the one who initiates the kiss when he walks through the door. Maybe next week you decide to whisper exactly what you want him to do to you. Just one thing. And when you do it, I want you to watch him closely. Do not close your eyes. Watch his reaction. At first, you might see a micro expression of shock. He might freeze for a split second. Do not mistake this for rejection. This is his brain recalibrating. He is realizing that the rules have changed. And then right after the shock, you will see the hunger. You will see his eyes darken. You will feel his energy shift. You will see him look at you with that fresh, intense obsession that you might haven't seen since the first month you started dating. That look, that moment of pure, unmasked desire is the reward for your courage. Intimacy is not a talent that you are born with. It is a language that you learn. And just like any language, the more you speak it, the more fluent you become. You have the power to turn a routine relationship into an electric one. You have the power to make him crave you, not by playing games, but by being real. If this video helped you unlock a new perspective on the male mind, please hit the like button. It helps us share this message with other women who are looking for their confidence. And if you want to take this a step further, knowing what to do in the bedroom is only half the battle. The other half is knowing how to stay in his mind when you are apart. In my next video, I am going to reveal the 5 text messages that trigger a man's obsession center. These are the texts that make him stare at his phone and miss you instantly. You do not want to miss that. So Make sure you are subscribed and have the notifications turned on. I want you to leave a comment down below with the affirmation, I am magnetic. Claim that power today. I'm your guide to the psychology of desire. Stay confident, and I'll see you in the next video.